Welcome to the World United. Welcome to the World United.
All right. So LOREE is mother of an award-winning young woman with Down syndrome, an international speaker, author, director of Women Talk, host of Conscious Conversations, and co-founder of See Uniqueness. As an intuitive connection strategist, LOREE uses her uniqueness technique to facilitate programs, conversations, and opportunities that evolve our human awareness. She supports leaders and messengers, ensuring they are equipped to build impactful interactions that inspire powerful, transformative connections. LOREE and her daughter have launched Sydney's Million, inviting people to share their uniqueness, creating a new language that enhances the world through curiosity, community, and celebration. So LOREE, welcome to the show, and I'm passing it over to you.
Thank you so much, Mike. Can you guys hear me all right? Wonderful. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this beautiful event. Yesterday, as I was listening to the opening conversation, I truly felt this beautiful alignment of the awareness that our uniqueness within each of us is what creates this beautiful wholeness in our world. And to be allowed to be in this conversation, each of us is bringing such a beautiful sense of the individual within the whole. So today I'm going to share with you some of my awareness through my work with See Uniqueness with my daughter. And we're going to share some practical things, and I'm going to share some stories, and just allow yourself to connect into who you are in receiving these beautiful sharings from each soul. Because as you hear another share of their own knowingness and their own amazing transformations, it allows you to come into yourself and ignite those places within yourself that too will open up your own transformation in the world. So as you can see beside me, I love to share the pictures of my daughter so that you can feel her as well. She's an incredible light and being in this world. And often people will ask me, what do you do? And the very first thing I always say is I'm a mom. And because I'm her mom, because I'm Sydney's mom, I have got to experience in this world things I could never, ever have imagined or dreamed or created. Because when she was first born, I understood very quickly that how I perceived the world was supposed to be was not how the world was going to be. And knowing her, allowing myself to know her and grow with her, has opened me up to that place of allowing who I am today to become someone new and expansive into tomorrow. Sydney is 22 now, and she lights this way in the world through a conversation that doesn't often come from language. So I'm going to share a bit about her and how we have become this space in the world to see you as you are, without the perceptions of what I wish anything to be. So a few years ago, Sydney was in the room beside me, and I was in a conversation with some people, and I could hear her laughing, and I could hear this joy bubbling up from inside of her. And this is how she is most of the time. And I had this thought in my head of, I wish I could feel as much joy for myself when I'm alone as when she does. Because when I'm alone, I often have thoughts of judgment and what I should be and how the world has taught me I should be. So I've been on this incredible opening of who it is I see myself to be and who it is I see those around me to be. And how can I allow myself to be altered by knowing another soul? Allow yourself to let a part of who you are be open to who you are becoming. This is one of the paradigm shifts that I see in all of the conversations throughout the last few days of this beautiful World Parliament on Spirituality. And even today with the speakers already, is this place of who you are is meant to be enhanced and altered. And when we allow that, that's when you see this deeper connection. That's when you come into the thread of how you are meant to stand in this world in your place. And one of the speakers earlier talked about being where you are and shining who you are exactly in the place that you already stand. And I feel this so deeply that when I stand here today and I allow myself to be enhanced by everything I experience, there's this paradigm shift that happens. And you become able to, in the moment, to see all that you will become. What we've discovered in our conversations of See Uniqueness is that curiosity is the first place of creating connection. To be curious about how another soul interprets the world around them. To be so curious that you can see, standing beside another, you can see a part of their world. And then you can bring the part of your world that you see to that experience, and you get to see a bigger whole. You know, I think of what I knew when I was a younger woman, when I was in my 20s. What I knew, I had this view like this. And now, by being curious about other people, my view is so much bigger. This is a place where, when we travel, we would never travel someplace new if we hadn't stood beside somebody and been curious about their experience of travel. We would never try a new food that hasn't been presented to us if we weren't first curious about how someone else tasted and experienced that food. And once we build that connection with another soul and our own inner excitement of what's coming, then connection begins to build a community. And we see this in the conversations going on in this parliament, that our communities are so uniquely placed for each of us. And yet that community becomes a greater community because you begin to build connection in your curiosity of someone over here, and your community expands. And here we are, hundreds of souls sharing our individual community in the North America part of this conference, and thousands sharing that community worldwide. And then each of us is connected then to those thousands more that are coming, as Jack was saying earlier, that the ripple of your own individual growth, your own individual awareness from here becomes a ripple first, then to your immediate family, and then out to your broader community, and then out to the world. And community enhances the way we experience the world. It enhances the world when you allow your awareness to become more, when you allow yourself to know that you truly are a gift in this world, and the world is waiting to know you. This is one of the most beautiful things that my daughter has shared with me, is that she is a light that the world is waiting to know. And when they meet her, everything changes for her, for everybody. A few years ago, my daughter was nominated for an award, and it was for an event, a huge event. There was 450 people in the room. And Sydney received the award for Women of Inspiration. And we were sitting at the back of the room, and as she stood up, I could feel this joy in her and this complete acceptance that I have inspired. I have changed something in the world. Without articulating it in her communication, in her language, you could feel it in every part of her body. And as she walked up through that room of 450 people, each of them stood. They stood for her. And the vibration of this acceptance, this place that we've moved from tolerance of each other's uniqueness into this acceptance of it, became even more. As she got to this stage, I could feel the value that they saw in her. And her joy just lit up the room. And she got up there and she said 3 things. She said, I see you. You are beautiful. I love you. And you could feel the entire room desire to experience that within themselves, that they can see themselves and that they are loved within themselves. And as she came back to the table, I had this awareness that everything that we had dreamed already for her in life had come true, and it was time to dream more. So we started this conversation not just of celebrating who she is, but celebrating who everyone is. And what an amazing space to know that if we're in the conversation of seeing our uniqueness and celebrating it, that every single person that was nominated that day would feel that love, and those 450 souls would rise for each of them. And for each of us, that space to be celebrated so completely in value that it allows a rising of all of our hearts. I want to share just some of the practical ways that Cindy and I have started this conversation in the world. Most of us already do these things. Most of us do them, but we're not aware that we do them. So I just want to share some of the really easy places in your day, in your thoughts, in your conversation, that you can start to come into that knowing that your uniqueness is a gift that the world is waiting for. And the first one is to know that your beliefs will either limit or enhance your ability to build successful connection. That connection within yourself, your family, your children, your parents, your friends, your workplace, your community. The beliefs that we hold are connected to the filters and situations that we've already lived. So just know that those can be altered and enhanced as you experience something new and you allow that curiosity into your life. This is one of my favorite things that I do. And I do this all day long now, all day long. And Sydney helps me do this. And it's the evidence that you build defines the connections that you make. So the first place that I do this is within myself, because my mind becomes very busy building evidence of what I am or what I am not. And that evidence is relative to what I have going on around me. What am I looking at? What am I talking about? What am I sharing? What am I feeling? Did I watch something that caused me concern? And then what does my mind do with that? What evidence am I building of the world around me? What evidence are we building of the people in our lives? Are we building the evidence that they are beautiful, unique, divine beings having this experience that allows them to be altered and enhanced? Or are we building evidence that the people around us are wrong in their difference? This is a very powerful awareness, is that we see wrongness in our difference. And when we do that, we create isolation, we create punishment, we create abandonment. And this comes from our experiences as we grow, that we may have been taught that to be different means that harm can come to you. I experienced this so completely, so truly completely when Sydney was born, because I had always been shown that to be different meant that not only would you maybe be not accepted in your social situations, but I had seen in the world places where difference in gender, in race and sexuality, in belief, meant that people were actually harmed and hurt and killed. So when my daughter was born, though I didn't understand it at the time, there was this deep place in me that she could be hurt, harmed, or killed because her difference was so big from the world that I understood around me. As a parent, as a mom, I didn't know what was underneath this sense of wanting to make my world perfect, wanting to be the perfect mom, wanting her to be perfect. It took me a little while to uncover that. And I'm so grateful now to know that this thing sits within all of us, that when you make difference wrong, you create in yourself a sense of wrongness. But what if? What if you made uniqueness beautiful, exciting, the way that the world is meant to see each other? What if you could make your uniqueness so beautiful and expansive that it allowed other people to see their own uniqueness, to see themselves in this light of complete acceptance and love and value, to stand beside each other, how our worlds would change. They would change, how they would change. What if? My daughter has created this place in the world where the things that we thought she would never do, she has done. The things that we never thought we would do, we have done. We are in conversations with people all around the world. And when I grew up, I didn't even know that you could travel around the world. Allowing ourselves to step fully into who we are by being enhanced by the people around us. That is one of the most powerful ways that you can practically allow yourself to move from this sense of tolerance to acceptance to value of yourself and others. Embracing, truly embracing being altered and enhanced with the connections within yourself and others. That's what is happening in this incredible conversation that we're having in this World Parliament on Spirituality. This place of hearing another soul share their individual experience then allows you to feel connected to that experience. And when you allow it, you become enhanced, you become altered. You never lose who you are by knowing another person. You never lose who you are by seeing with celebration the people around you. You just become more of who you're meant to be. You become more of who you desire to be. And you become more integrated and connected with the world as a whole. When I started as a speaker, I just thought I had this, message to share. There's got to be something in there I can share. But over the years, what I've understood is that the sharing is more about this opening. Because as I share what happens in story in life, when you share the story of you, it allows another to share the story of them. And I've had this incredible opportunity to meet people from all over the world with different languages that I don't even understand. And yet I can sit at a table with them and share from my heart and their heart and understand that we're interconnected in this world. My daughter has this light, this place. Sydney will say these things to you like, true. You'll say, Sydney, it's so frustrating today. Being a mom is hard today. And she'll say, true. And then I'll say, Sydney, you're so beautiful. She'll say, true. you imagine the impact in your own world if you just simply said, this is true in this moment, instead of needing to find the judgment or the reasoning or the understanding? Just true. Just true. One thing that I hear common in the threads of the conversation going on in the World Parliament is an understanding of radical transformation. And when we hear this, sometimes when I hear this, or I hear this with the people I talk about, you can have this like sense of, I don't want to be radically transformed. Radical transformation can happen over an extended period of time. For me, there's been these transformations that I can trace back. I love to do this thing like connect the dots. You know, those beautiful pictures that you connect the dots. I love to go back and be in a space with somebody and go, oh, I feel this dot actually connects me to a conversation from yesterday that connected me from a connection a year ago. I'm in this event because of knowing somebody that I met 6 years ago. And then here I am. So those transformations can be radical over time, or they can be in this moment, this thing I call the point of awareness. When you allow yourself to move through the understanding of your beliefs affecting you, the understanding that you can be enhanced by all of your experiences, the understanding that being curious changes how you see the world. You become aware of the point of awareness is where your paradigms shift. It's when alignment and celebrating uniqueness happens in every moment. And I want to share a story with you all about a moment where that truly altered for me my desire to bring consciousness conversation to the world, to bring it in a bigger way, to be able to be in these places. So Sydney graduated from high school a few years ago, and I had this all set up for years, right? This is gonna be the best mother-daughter thing ever. We're gonna go dress shopping. Just this place of, you know, in our world, the dress shopping. Oh, it was such a thing. I remember it when I was graduating high school. And for our family, this was a huge event that Sydney was graduating high school. So I had this all set up. I'm going dress shopping, and I had all her friends, and it's going to be this mother-daughter event, and it's going to be so great. And we were so lucky that day that her dad came with us. And, you know, he was sitting over across the room when Sydney had put on her first dress. I think we picked out 10 to try. And she came out of the dressing room, and I was behind her. And she came out, and she looked at her dad. And he looked at her. And there was this place that I saw in him that he felt this, oh my, this is my daughter, and she's so beautiful. And I could see him be altered in that moment. And I'm so truly blessed and grateful that I had started doing this work of becoming aware of the moments, to truly build my evidence in the moment. Because as I stood behind her, I knew that this was not a mother-daughter day. This was a father-daughter day. This was a day for them to experience this connection as a young woman and a father who has always stood with her and wished for her the most amazing things. And they tried on these different dresses, and I mean, he shared all the things that he loved and didn't love. And actually, the first dress that she walked out in is the one that they picked. And this picture that you see is truly one of my favorite pictures in all of our time together as a family, because the love between them is so pure and so real. And this was right after we had bought that dress and we had gone for coffee, and they just were together. And this is what happens when you allow yourself to become present to a point of awareness. That the world no longer has to become about what I desire it to be, but then instead we step into this paradigm shift of, what do I wish to share of myself, and how do I wish to be enhanced by you? I wish to see you. I wish to truly know you. I wish to pause when I meet you and understand who you are in your own uniqueness. So today I just wish to invite you to imagine, just imagine if you allowed yourself to move through the understandings of belief and evidence and curiosity into this point of awareness that happens within a moment. Imagine how your relationships would be altered. Imagine how your community would be altered. Imagine how the world would be enhanced when you have such point of awareness that you can hear beyond the uncertainty or fear or chaos of another soul, and you can see in to their divine light and who they are and what that would gift them. Thank you for being present in this conversation, for allowing yourself to come into this space of your uniqueness and knowing that who you are is a true gift to the world. Thank you.